Have you ever heard of appearance-related anxiety? It's a thing. It's when what you're wearing causes you more anxiety and stress. And it's what we're going to be talking about today. Hi and welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Colleen Hammond. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so that we can keep in touch. And if you've ever at any point been stressed out by what you're wearing or trying to figure out what to wear, leave me a comment below. But let's talk about what dressing for stress really means, because what you wear does speak to your level of confidence and my level of confidence. You judged me right away. If this is the first time you saw me, you judged me right away before I even opened my mouth. Okay, let's say you made an assessment. And knowing that and knowing that people judge us can sometimes cause us stress. But what we wear and why we wear those particular things can have a big impact on the amount of anxiety that you feel. So the power of first impressions it's very, very powerful. You know that first impressions are lasting impressions, and it's because of a thing called confirmation bias. And it's just a big scientific term that means once our brain has made up its mind about someone or something, it looks for evidence to prove that. So if you think redheads are dumb, anytime you meet a redhead, you're going to assume that they're not that smart. So that's the power of first impressions. So how you present, or how we all present ourselves to the world based on our appearance, what we're wearing, how do we do our hair and makeup, that can impact our relationships, and it also can impact our self-esteem, how others feel about us and how we feel about ourselves. So there's a few different areas that can cause a high amount of stress and some things to be looking out for. Number one is somebody else determining what you wear. Oftentimes we're in relationships, whether it be in friendships, in personal relationships, or even with our parents, where they're telling us what we should be wearing. And there's some warning signs to look out for. So let's talk about friendships first. And I use the word friendships in loose terms because if your friend is determining what you are wearing and telling you that you need to wear these things and you're not comfortable in them, that's kind of a toxic relationship. Not kind of. I have a whole series on toxic people that you should probably benefit from learning how to set those boundaries with people because it really helped me too. So if your friend is constantly criticizing what you're wearing, regardless of your preferences, that's a person that's to be avoided, and that's an unhealthy relationship. Now, that being said, there's a difference between that and somebody that you respect their opinion and they help you pick out things that you're comfortable in, that you like. What we're talking about is people who insist that you wear things that you don't like. Okay, so those are friendships. Then if you have a significant other that's very controlling, by that we mean that person tells you what to wear, and whether you like it or not. Same thing as like a friendship situation. But also a significant other could say that you wear one set of clothing or outfits, hair, makeup, whatever, when you're around them, but you wear or don't wear other things, like, okay, when you're with me, do your hair and makeup, but when you're not with me, you're not to do your hair and makeup. That is exhibiting abusive behavior as well. Excuse me. So if you're dressing at any point to fulfill someone else's idea of who you need to be or who you are in order to gain their approval or their love, that's a very shallow relationship. And you need to really consider the importance of removing that relationship, if possible, from your life. The third person is the parent. Now, we're not talking about if you're a minor and you're still living underneath your parents' roof. Sorry. What we're talking about is if you're an adult, you're 30 years old, you're 40 years old, you're 25 years old, and your parents are still trying to be hypercritical of what you're wearing. And if you're past the age that that's appropriate and picking out your own clothing, where your family says they're not going to accept you or your parents won't accept what you based on what you're wearing, that's something to analyze, so it could just be them sensing, exhibiting control. It could be that they're having a crisis in their life. But we also have to be considerate of the fact that too, maybe they have a point, but if it's not valid, don't worry about it. Okay. The second way we can see that we're dressing for stress is careless couture. What do we mean by that? There's a difference between dressing casual and dressing sloppy and careless. So being thoughtless about what we're wearing isn't prudent, number one, but sometimes people just aren't motivated and they're sensing a feeling of depression and they're not motivated to make an effort with their appearance, or they're too stressed out. They're standing in my closet's over there. They're standing in front of their closet going, I can't figure out what to wear. They don't have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear. Or they feel that no matter what they wear, they're going to feel rejected. So they just give up. I'm just going to wear my hair in a ponytail. I'm not going to bother putting makeup on, and I'm just wearing sweats. There's nothing wrong with having enough self-esteem that you don't care what other people think, but there's also being appropriate and realizing that everything in life comes with consequences because people do judge us. That's a fact. So you can say, I can wear whatever I want. Yes, you can. You cannot follow that up with, and people can't judge me, because they will. So our actions all have consequences, and the consequences of careless couture is that you look careless and you look sloppy and you look like you don't care. And then consequently, people will treat you differently. And that can also have an impact on your self-esteem because you're exhibiting or experiencing rejection. So our clothing needs to be appropriate for the situation. If we're at work, we wear work clothing. If we're going to a funeral, you're not going to wear fuzzy bunny slippers to a funeral. If you're going on a job interview, you're not going to wear pajamas. If you're going to the store, you're not going to wear pajamas. Please. So, and we've all seen it, right? Or we've all had to run to the store for one reason or another. I'm talking about a regular basis. So your clothing choices do impact how other people perceive you. Are they right? Maybe, maybe not. But 97% of the time when somebody has made a first impression, 97% of the time they don't change their mind. So those first impressions are really lasting impressions. The third way we know that we're dressing for stress is it's disguising low self-esteem. And there's three places that we can really see someone disguising their low self-esteem because they feel like they have to dress to compensate because they don't feel they measure up. The first way, and we see this a lot in our young adults, is they feel they have to dress a certain way to fit in with a certain crowd. And this can go on into adulthood too, so it's not just young adults. Also, they are dressing in a way that calls attention to themselves. I read a book that was written in 1862. 1862, was that 150 years ago, that said when a young lady doesn't feel that she has enough intelligence, character, or personality to offer, she'll dress in outlandish ways to draw attention to herself. And I think that still is true today. Now, there's a difference between somebody that has a really flashy personality and people who go out of their way to dress in a certain manner to draw attention to themselves because they're dealing with low self-esteem. The third way we know that this is true is that a person will be obsessive about following trends and they have to have the latest styles and the latest fashions, and they talk about it because they want to be recognized for being leading edge and very fashion forward. They want to be recognized for that. And again, this is a way that can lead to very shallow connections, and it keeps you from forming strong emotional bonds and relationships with people because you don't have that sense of confidence. And confidence, joy, and exuberance is what attracts people. When a person walks into a room and they're all slumped over, that's not attractive. But when somebody comes into a room and they're bright and shiny and they're carrying themselves with a sense of confidence, that's attractive to people. So that's what people are attracted to, is that confidence. The fourth way we know we're dressing for stress is that we dress uncomfortably. I don't mean like the occasional pair of shoes that we wear on, that I'm going to wear these 4-inch heels because it's going to be perfect with this outfit and it's a perfect event. I mean, every single solitary item we own is uncomfortable. They could be high 4-inch heels. It could be a pair of skinny jeans that we won't give away, but they're a size too small. And once we put them on, when we leave, we don't even go to the bathroom because we know we'll never get them zipped back up again. Or maybe a belt or something around the middle is so tight we can't even eat because this thing is so tight. Dressing uncomfortably is showing that you're not confident, or you don't have, you're dressing at the expense of your physical comfort, which isn't prudent. It's not wise. It's not smart. So it's hard to feel good. Besides that, it's hard to feel good when your feet hurt. If the dogs are barking, it's hard to really think about anything else because you're like, oh, when can I take these shoes off? I have flats in my purse to get to the car. I'm not wearing these shoes to the car, type of thing. And if your internal organs, or you can't eat because your clothing is so tight, it's not really wise. So that's another sign of someone that's dressing for stress, because you're either dressing from external pressures or from what you see in the media or Instagram or somebody that's face-tuned themselves. Or maybe there's your own beliefs about clothing, that fashion has to be uncomfortable, and it really doesn't. You really end up setting yourself up for increased anxiety when you're doing that. So, do any of those kind of ring a bell or make sense to you or someone that you know? Because next up, we're going to talk about how to dress in an unstressed, dress for success. Because some people, you look at them and it just seems effortless. Every time you see them, they're just pulled together. But that used to be taught in schools. Up until the 70s, there was the home ec movement. It started in the late 1800s. So for over 100 years, how to dress for your body type, your coloring, how to dress for unique bodily characteristics, your personality, how to send a message, how to set a table, all of that was taught in schools up until the 70s. And then they pulled it all out. I don't know about you, but I wasn't taught this stuff. But sometimes we look at people and we think they either have their own image consultant, they have a lot of money, or, you just don't know how they pull it off. But there are secrets and there are tips. So again, look in the notes below. I have some ideas for you too. So first of all, you want to dress for you. Your personality, your career, the message that you want to send. And we don't want to be worried about what other people think. There's technically 7 style personalities, and we're normally a combination of 3 of those, sometimes just 2. But dressing for yourself and the message that you want to send, because then you are authentic to you. And when you feel comfortable and you feel authentic, then you present a confident appearance. I have a client that's an attorney. She's a trial attorney during the day, and on the weekends, she sings in a rock band. She dresses 2 different ways, but for her authentic self, she has some jewelry pieces and things that you can't see from a jury box, but as a trial attorney, she can wear that's authentic to her rocker chic, right? So you're dressing for yourself and not anyone else. However, keeping in mind that we are sending a message with the things that we are wearing. So considering what looks good and what doesn't. That also doesn't mean you don't want to reflect the best of who you are. What we want to do is draw attention to your face and to your eyes, because the eyes are the window of the souls, and they'll other people decide when they see this, as opposed to deciding about you based on your fuzzy bunny slippers. Think about what you wear. Clothing takes planning, and these people that seem like they effortlessly pull things together, either number 1, they plan it out, or number 2, they have the perfect capsule wardrobe, so no matter what they pull out of their closet, it's going to work. It's going to mix and match and work together. More than likely, they planned it out. Meal plans, a lot of households have meal plans. When you go to the grocery store and you go shopping, you have a shopping list. These things are planned, and it's the same thing with our outfits. So look through Pinterest, see what types of things you like, and there's a lot of things you can emulate by seeing it in the picture and then deciding, do I have those types of things in my closet? So when you do that and you can put together an outfit, don't you have an outfit that you just, if it's a special occasion, okay, I know what I'm going to wear because that's my favorite outfit. We all have an outfit. My clients have a closet full of outfits that make them look and feel amazing, but we all have that one outfit. People come to me when they first start working with me, they have one outfit they know makes them look amazing. So it doesn't come by accident. We all know that thing looks good on us. It's just figuring out why it looks good on us. So don't hide behind what you think people want you to be. Don't dress in ways that don't reflect who you really are. You want to dress who you really are. You don't want to have clothes that pinch or pull or chafe or don't make you feel good either about yourself as a person on the inside or your body doesn't feel good. So looking amazing doesn't have to make you unhappy. It doesn't have to make you uncomfortable, and it doesn't have to make you feel stressed out, because that can lead to anxiety and problems in other areas. So, have you ever been frustrated and not known what you're going to wear? Leave it in the comments for me below. And make sure you like, comment, and give us a follow. And we'll see you next time.